Nah.
You sound great
can
in
you
ours.
can you hear yourself in your headphones?
I can hear myself as much as I would like to.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, great. Okay.
See, I like to blast my voice and everyone else's voice into my ears.
Yeah, he likes to hear himself talk.
See, I don't. It distracts me when I'm like mid-sentence when I'm doing my
Oh,
own
no,
shit.
I'm like, whoa, I sound
have
crazy.
to.
I'm like, what the fuck? I start slowing down. I start trying to keep up with myself.
I've got to have a monitor. I've
ever
got to
do
have
that?
a monitor.
Oh yeah, I definitely need to hear myself when I talk, but I do know the feeling of like hearing yourself at the same time as you're speaking in your ears, and you're like, whoa.
It's weird. I feel like I'm
Takes time to adjust. Yeah.
like I'm walking up a down escalator.
What's going on, all you fit foxes? My name is Mason,
And my name is Grayson.
and welcome to the Modern Dude.
Podcast by dudes, for dudes, helping dudes become better dudes.
Dude!
Going to the gym,
Whoa.
getting swole, working out. It's something we all know we're supposed to do and that we definitely should make us feel better, but it's so hard to stay consistent with. Now today, with our extra special guest from another podcast we love, Corey has a podcast. It's Mr. Fit Funny himself, Corey Easley.
Hey.
We're going to be talking about fitness and taking a deep dive in general on what it means to stay dedicated for your fitness and your health.
Yeah.
What's going on, my dude?
What's up?
It's been a minute, baby.
How you doing? How you doing?
Good, man.
Nice to see you guys.
We just did that as if we haven't been like talking this whole time.
I know,
Like,
dude,
You just walked in and sat down, and I'm like,
Very
hello.
formal.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
Just now.
formal
I actually have
handshake.
kept blinders on. I haven't even looked at him in the eyes yet. Don't do it. Don't look at me.
We like had him come in with a
Yeah,
blanket,
oh, yeah.
like moved him here, like. Can't
I was
see him.
debating what type of handshake I should give because I didn't expect it.
The funny thing is that like podcasts and like TV shows or like sports things do that all the time. It's like, what's going on? Good to see you. Oh man, it's been so. And it's like you guys talked like in the green room.
But it's
Yeah.
different here though because like we have like not seen you in so long.
It's been a really long time.
So I just kind of want to be like, like it's different. Yeah,
I just want to touch. I want to smell your musk.
it's different.
touch
That felt right. That felt right to like shake hands
Yes,
again and
yes,
like
yes.
formally.
No,
do the
I
damn
get it.
thing. Yeah.
I get it. We could have hugged.
We could have
We
hugged
won't do
Save
it.
the hug.
with the headphones and the
There's a lot.
Hand hug.
We can do it at the end. Oh yeah, hand
Oh,
hug.
hand hug.
Hey.
I love a hand hug.
A hand hug works. I haven't gotten a hand hug in a long time.
Yeah,
Boing.
yeah. About as long as I've seen you.
Seen you.
It's
Probably the last person he gave a hand hug to.
It's
That was the last
there's a
thing-
strong
the
possibility.
last thing we saw of each other. Like it's been like what? Like I feel like it's been like 2 years.
Oh, it's probably
It's probably been like in
What?
the same
Pandemic.
place, yeah, for sure. Like
Pre-pandemic.
I don't think I've seen you since 2020.
Yeah.
One time when people started first letting people back out to do shit,
Right,
really?
right,
and you had a mask on, so I only saw your face partially.
right.
You saw his eyes. That's it.
I can't even think of what that would be though. Like where that would be.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Probably at a bar.
Probably at a bar.
Yeah. There you go.
Strong, yeah, strong chance it was at a
Strong
bar.
chance it was at a bar.
Speaking
well,
of though,
yeah.
you're killing it at the gym. You're not doing the bar scene so much anymore. How's all that been? Because you are a fitness instructor as long as a podcaster.
Yeah.
And those are your like big things you're doing, and competition weightlifting, right?
Well, for the I started getting competitive with my fitness. It's something I always wanted to do.
Right.
But fitness has just been kind of a part of my life for a long time, and since I made a career out of it, it's something that I never really thought I could take to the next level. Like I never thought that
Sure.
I could like start competing and stuff, you know.
Sure.
And it's like you just kind of have this attitude. Like whenever I tell my mom I'm doing something, she doesn't understand what I do, and she'll just be like, "Just be careful, or don't hurt your knee, or
Don't drop that weight
fuck
on your
back
face."
up, or something like that." And it's like
Right.
she doesn't really get it, but she obviously wants to see me succeed. But
Yeah.
I never personally thought that I could do some of the things I'm doing now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, you look like a fucking giant.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I mean, you've always been beastly, but I feel like you're extra beastly now.
yeah.
yeah, man, I
Extra
appreciate
beastly,
it.
Corey Easley.
Easily beastly.
Easley beastly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool. And then I teach people fitness, so I share it with other people.
We love that.
And I think about it as like celebrating your fitness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I bring people into the gym and I do a lot of that. And
Do you have like streamers and like kazoos?
I could if need be. If I
walking
can
on like
reel
a
you in
Monday,
somehow,
5 a.m.
you know that's not. I'm gonna
People
put
are
that in my
still
back
like
pocket.
putting like they're like drinking their coffee. Like, oh God, what are you doing?
Stop. Like, it's a
Got
celebration.
balloons, yeah.
I actually love that though. I think that for someone who it's always been sort of a struggle for me to like find the dedication or find the motivation to get up and go and do it. I guess you want the mindset needs to be kind of flipped like that. Like it should be something that's like celebrate or something, so it gets you excited in a different way than just like it's time to work, it's time to whatever. It's like
the monotony of what it can be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a lot of messages, like you'll find it all over the internet, all over social media. And for me, I started thinking about it like people wait until something bad happens to them to go, I got to change this. Like,
that's a great point.
Just candidly, like my mom has some health issues and me and her talk all the time. And I'm like, you got to start making some changes. Like the doctors are telling you got to do it. So like, I think waiting until the doctor goes, hey, you need to lose 30 pounds, you got a fatty liver or something. It's not the time to do it. Like, and then you feel pressure and you feel like you're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? You just don't feel good about yourself. But while you're able-bodied, like you'll sprain your ankle and be like limping around like, damn, because you don't really appreciate how able-bodied you are on a regular basis. But if you're just being active on the regular, like to me, like that's celebrating your health and your fitness.
That totally resonates.
I was about to say, man, that's like kind of exactly how you went through.
Kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say. I just started going back to the gym probably about 3 months ago now.
Oh, I remember when you had injured. You had like.
So I broke my ankle in 2019.
Yes, I remember that.
And that was a wake up call, but it wasn't even a big enough wake up call as far as like I did start treating my body slightly better. I wasn't doing the sex, drugs, rock and well, still doing sex.
Let me get it straight, okay?
All right.
Still having sex.
No, but I'm not partying as much as I used to. But that was
your skin looks really good. Do you see his skin?
I do.
Look at him.
Tell me more.
I was saying that it's really funny that like when people start working out, they really do kind of like glow.
You start to glow. Remember in the Hercules movie when he became a mortal and he stopped glowing?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then when he became a god again, he had that glow.
He's glowing.
That's what happens.
Wow, it's like a fitness nod too.
Something to admit, I've never seen that movie.
Wow, it's one of my favorite Disney movies. Right? People get so like offended when you don't see their favorite movie.
It's you know what's so funny to me? I've like maybe seen it once, and I still got defensive. I was like, "What?
Yeah,
you haven't seen Hercules?
Watched like the second half, and
the movie I kind of maybe remember seeing one time.
Sorry.
Name one actor out of that movie.
It's like, get the fuck out of my house.
Hercules. Oh, Danny DeVito's in it, right?
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
bam,
boom, nailed it.
Yeah.
Wow, you did great.
I know nothing else. Don't ask me any more questions about it.
Well, appreciate it. That's very nice. But I mean, I am getting married this year, so that was a motivation. But before that, even I was just like, I just gotta start. Like you said, I didn't say celebrate, but I was like, I need to start utilizing this body that I've been given. I still do have my health for the most part. You know, I've had like little things here and there, as does everybody. But I was like, let's start taking control of one thing at a time. And the first thing that's going to help my mental more than anything is my physical, which is funny because like when you exercise, it does so much.
Oh, it's all connected.
Oh, they're linked.
It's all connected.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
And from that, I've gotten out of like dark holes about other shit, and like it has made me more aware of what I eat, what I drink, when I go to bed, things like that. Which is amazing because then you're more productive. I mean, it snowballs in the best kind of way.
Oh, yeah. It's 100%. Compounding interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you like people who take care of themselves tend to be happier. Tend to look better, feel better about themselves, have like a better self-image. It's there's a lot of cliches and cliche sayings that like are real. And I always talked about this like when I was a kid. My dad would always be like, "Yeah, the reason it's a cliche and it became a cliche is because it's fucking true."
Because it's real.
you know, like
I mean, like, but people like to give cliches, which some cliches can be bad. But like people like to like in general give a cliche, even if it's a good cliche, like kind of like a corny name.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's such a cliche. You like feel better if you work out, and it's like, yeah, but that's like It's like a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's also like,
Why are you shitting on that?
that's also like not a cliche. That's like scientific. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
right,
like
right.
there's like science behind your brain,
People
endorphins. And
Oh, look at
things,
you.
know?
You're not drinking right now. You're so happy.
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's like, dude, maybe you should stop drinking. To be less
Yeah,
angry.
maybe if you worked out, you'd feel better. You know? Like,
Yeah, and I don't knock anybody who like isn't, you know what I mean, doing
Sure.
anything like that. I feel like people like find whatever they are
Sure.
gonna find like when they do and when they need to.
Yeah.
Like for example, like when I quit drinking, for the longest time I thought, fuck, I'm gonna become lame. People hang out with me because they expect me to get fucking hammered
Dude,
with
that's
them.
real.
And they just like, if I'm not taking the shot, it's like, why are you not taking the shot? Like, or why are you not at the bar in
Right.
general? Or why are you not staying up till 4:00 in the morning every day? You know
which
what I
is
mean?
dumb because
yeah.
to think like they're it's almost like people don't even realize in the moment, but they're doing that because they're like, well, something must be wrong if you're not with themselves or like with you.
They
and
want
it's
the
like,
camaraderie, and like
Right.
I'm a big peer pressure person, but I've tried to stop doing that so much because because I have had some health things, like I have AFib, and some of that is from partying too much.
I'm not totally sure what AFib is.
Atrial fibrillation. It's when your heart beats irregularly.
Okay.
And that happens to me if I drink too much. So I stopped drinking as much as I used to. I can't rage the way I used to, whether I want to or not.
well, the doctor said that was all of the mounds of cocaine you were doing. Right? I thought that's what it was.
No, but it's alcohol as much as anything.
Of course.
Because when you drink, you get dehydration, and that's when you hydrate, and that's when my heart starts to freak out, and it still does it. If I have more than, I can still have a good time, but if I start hitting that like 7-8 drinks, then it's like it's almost a shoo-in that my heart.
You're
will
gonna
be
go
weird.
there,
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's crazy too. Like, and even to think.
But I can have. That's plenty. It's not. Who needs to drink? You don't need to drink.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you just
Yeah.
casually said.
What do you do?
7,
Like,
8 drinks,
exactly,
right? But that's what we
yeah.
always did, right? Like that's what we
yeah.
always did together. And it's
Yeah.
like, just like the worries start going through my head. Like, fuck, like I'm just gonna run out of friends because
And that's so
I
lame,
can't do it
man.
anymore. And the crazy thing about it is, it wasn't like a let me get on this high horse and be holier than thou.
Sure.
I was just legitimately very unhappy.
Yeah.
And it's like getting just doing shit that I wasn't proud of, and like doing drugs, and like, you're in the bathroom just ripping lines and all this shit too. And it's like, that's cool. It's fun. Right.
Yeah.
But also like for me, just my mental health had suffered so much.
yeah.
Can I quote you on something because I watched your interview on the Fort.
Oh yeah.
And the Fort cast, that's what it is. Which is where he works, which is close by, right? It's in Midtown, right?
It's not far. It's in Flatiron, actually.
Not in Brooklyn?
And we're opening up in the Upper East Side soon too. No, it's not.
Not in Brooklyn. We were like so sure it was. I was like, it's in Brooklyn.
I thought
he lived in
that
Brooklyn.
He
I
lived
don't
in
know.
Brooklyn, worked in Brooklyn. No,
2020 was.
I'm on the other side of the world. It's like
I flew in today.
saying
but
I
that's-
live in Brooklyn is like saying like Thor lives in Wakanda. That's a nerd reference. Did you see that?
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Our friend
Come
Price,
nerd.
who's on the keys back there helping us record right now, always goes, "Oh, going to Brooklyn, take your passport."
Take your passport, pack it
Yeah,
back.
because you're going overseas. I know a guy that's like, I'm going overseas.
Yeah, you really you might not know what happens. You're like, you need some back, you need an overnight bag or something.
If I never go to Brooklyn again,
oh, it'll be a
I'm looking directly into the
be a
camera.
blessing.
I'll be fucking stoked about it.
I'll be stoked about it. Same. I
What
feel
do
the
I need
exact
to
same
go
way.
there for?
But circling back, I remember you said something about this exact topic about partying too much or whatever, and I remember you saying when you do regardless of doing drugs or doing things or being out and drinking and whatever, it was about the alone time, because you're doing stuff like you said something like you're like what it really came down to at a certain point was behind closed doors. I was like, I feel like because of partying, it all kind of bleeds into itself. And there's things that you're doing that people look up to you. People look up to you and they admire you for different ways. And you were like, I feel like some of those people would have seen me and been not super proud of how I was I wasn't taking care of myself the way that I should have. And
Bro,
I
I
feel
didn't have internet.
Yeah.
I just didn't have it. I just lived. I was talking to.
not what I was thinking.
I didn't have internet. No, this goes into it. I was. Bro, I just lived in this apartment.
Yeah.
And I had come out of a breakup with someone who I was dating this girl and she was really into goth style and shit.
Sure.
And my living room was like this navy blue color, so it was just really dark in my apartment. And my bedroom was the same color as the fucking walls in the bar that I spent all my time at. It was just this blood red wall.
Sure.
And I didn't pay for internet because I was like, I'm never home. I don't need internet. But I would sit in my fucking living room smoking cigarettes and drinking whatever booze I could get my hands on until I went to sleep every night.
Dude.
And yeah, it's like, what am I going to just keep doing that until? And this is like outside of seeing you at the bar and going, all right, man, I'll see you later.
But that's
and
what I'm saying. It's like,
and still
I
do
can still
that.
do that, but that's what I mean.
I have this image of Corey like coming home.
Just the one. Just staring at the navy blue wall.
Just
like,
staring at the wall, fucking around on my phone. Yo, it's crazy.
not
time to go to bed.
not using the internet. Like
Yeah, not using the internet. I had internet on my phone.
Yeah.
But
You know
I
what
think
I mean?
think that was the thing that like
Just
resonated
staring at
with
the
me.
blue wall. Maybe that's what it drove you to like just like staring.
Colors,
at the blue
man,
wall.
the colors.
It's like, what am I waiting for though, right? Like,
Yeah.
like I said, like even with the taking advantage of the fact that you're able-bodied. It's like, yo, I just keep getting away with like walking the streets blackout drunk every night,
Right.
Like, and then at a point I had access to a car on a regular basis. And it's like, what am I going to just get behind the wheel of a car, kill a whole family, and then go, you know what? Now I'm going to stop drinking.
Yeah,
You know
now
what I
it's
mean?
time to like make the improvement.
I don't
yeah.
like why I'm just going to preemptively start taking care of myself better. So that's what happened.
Yeah. And I loved that you said that because I think it's all like, you know, we also go out, and another thing that's hard that bleeds into, you know, drinking too much or partying too much is the fact that you don't want anybody to think that you have a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So when you go out, you're just like, you're Corey, and everyone's like, I'm Grayson, and everyone's like, what's up, man? And I'm like, oh yeah, what's up? And they're like, hey man, how's your music doing? And I'm like, oh, it's doing really good, and this, that, and the other. And they're like, how's the fit? And you're like, oh, it's going really great, this, that, and the other. And it's like, people like that because they're like, man, I'm jealous of that, or I really look up to you. I really like think you're really like great for doing that, man. You're such a great guy. And then you turn around, and then like you turn around and you start like doing things that like aren't the best for you, and you're man, like I want to be the person that I really am, that I know that I am, and that I can be at all times. Not the person I just put on in front of people.
Totally,
You know, when
sure.
I'm fucking up behind closed doors. You know?
Yeah.
And we've all been there, like, you know.
We are going to go drinking after this.
Me and Mason definitely are, for sure. But
there's way to do. You don't have to cold turkey it, and that if that's what you needed to do, that's what you need to do, and that's fine. I'm not like here coming down on people who like to have a good time and drink.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Like, if you can, you know.
It's how you manage it, and like the thing is like I can go and we can have a few drinks and have a good time, but if it's going to affect my productivity the next day or my mental health the next day, because that's, I mean, the problem with alcohol, as much as like the physical shit, it like takes me to a depressed state, you know?
Yeah.
And not into the point like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, I'm a piece of shit. No, it's just the little things in life that you're just like,
I could have gotten up and done other shit.
I could have had 2 more hours of my day, but I decided to sleep in instead.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know?
And I could have gotten up and had a more productive morning.
Of course.
Where like people that like
But then your mindset throughout the day too is
It's
just like, you're just
different,
like,
yeah.
oh, you can be like quicker to be angry about some dumb shit.
Oh, yeah,
Or-
yeah.
As opposed to choosing to be positive,
Yeah.
you can just wallow in the negativity so easily.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure, for sure.
100%.
Or really, I'm just tired, but
Yeah.
I'm in a bad mood because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm spending half of the day trying to like get back to zero.
Get back exactly.
Dude,
Exactly.
yeah.
We talked
Oh,
about
I
getting back to
remember-
zero before. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
For
yeah.
sure, man.
I remember, you know, you're at work or whatever. We were bartenders, so I I used to be like, oh man, finally I don't feel hungover. Let's rip some shots.
Oh,
Do it
yeah,
all
yeah.
over
Right.
again.
Oh, yeah,
Holy
It's like I'm
shit.
finally not hungover, so now I can just
Get
dive right back into that fucking hole that I was already in. You know, it's like,
It almost makes you feel better though, right? Like I remember one time I felt horrible one time.
yeah,
And I was at work all day, and my boy hits me up like, yo, I'm going to hit this open mic out in the Knitting Factory out in Brooklyn. And I was like, fuck, that sounds awesome. But I felt sick.
right.
And the second I went in there and had a gin and tonic, it was summertime. Hannibal Buress was there. It was really
dope.
fucking cool.
Yeah,
And I felt good again.
Of course.
That's the thing.
That's
you
the
get into
addictive
the
quality
cycle.
of
Yeah.
hair of the dog is also a fucking thing.
Oh,
man.
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's just crazy, man. I want to talk more about just like fitness in general and your journey, because that's more of the topic.
Oh, for sure. I feel like we had to catch up.
No, but
we did. And we always have to.
But that's part of it, and that's part of our journey, and that's that's what we're talking about is each other's journeys, and like for you, the fitness journey, and that was the background of where you are today. So
Yes.
I wanted to ask you like a personal question. So for me, my whole thing with working out has always been in like certain spurts of my life. Like I will work out really consistently for like a year or like a year and a half or something, or like a certain chunk of months. And then I'll like cold turkey working out all the time. I just constantly do it. And it's like one of those things where in my brain, I can't quite set it to where it's just like in my routine of things that I just do more normally. And that's always been just something I've struggled with. Like that's been my personal like thing with it. And I'm like, man, like how do I figure out how to like keep it? Because then the more time that passes, the more I'm like, it's going to be so impossible to get back into it. I'm going to be so fucking sore. I'm going to try to go too hard when I go in, and I'm going to feel like absolute shit. And then I'm going to feel like shit at work. And then I can't feel like shit at work because I'm a bartender. I'm already like moving shit around and slinging drinks and fucking lifting beer cases and shit. So like, it's like, that's always been my biggest struggle with it, is that like, I don't want to start working out because I know that once I start, I'm going to feel like shit for a while to then get to the consistent part. And I'm just like, I'm sure you've had clients that have like talked about that.
Oh my God.
Too. It's like everybody.
I talk to people about this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like anybody from like somebody who used to be an athlete in school or something, or to somebody who's like never even been in a gym but like knows they probably should.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think one of the biggest fears of starting, one of the hardest things to do is start, right?
Yeah.
One of the hardest things probably to do, like before you guys even got to the modern dude, was sit around like, well, how are we going to attack this, right?
Yeah,
like,
man.
how am I going to attack this workout? How am I going to start making these? This is a lifestyle change, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's people that just go to like Barry's boot camp a couple times a week, or go to Rumble, or go to fucking, like, there's all these things exist, F45, like all these fitness classes that exist, so people can kind of like, it kind of makes it easier to make it a part of your lifestyle, right? And I find that going to a gym, like say you like are a member of Crunch or Blink or some shit like that, right? And you walk into the gym and you just see people doing whatever it is they do. And we have like these preconceived like notions too. Like we're like, I'm going to be really sore, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go too hard. Because you think in your mind, if I go in there and I'm lifting some bullshit ass lightweight, people are looking at me,
think I'm stupid,
thinking
like,
I'm a bitch.
I'm a
something.
bitch.
You know what I mean? Like,
dude.
And it's like,
And that's a guy thing.
Nobody's looking at you.
That's a dude. I mean, obviously, women obviously would deal with that too, or like anybody. But like
Yeah,
for the
anybody's
modern
gonna deal with
dude,
it.
that's a thing, man. Like you walk in, it's like, oh, look at this fucking guy over here
But
that's
the
like
thing is,
screaming
that
while
is
he's
real,
lifting,
because first of all, I don't know if I agree with you. I think people do look at you, but it's how you approach it and how you make it okay with yourself.
Exactly. Well, this is the thing, right? So like, for me, from my perspective, as a professional, if I see someone doing something and they're moving well and they're using a lightweight, I'm like, that's intentional. This person's maybe rehabbing an injury. This
Right.
I
person
literally had to humble myself from this shit
Yeah.
recently because I wrenched my shoulder
Yep.
being an idiot, lifting too heavy of a weight when I started getting back into it. And so I had to drop weight, and I focused on form and doing it the right way. And I was like, I did have that feeling. I was like, man, I look like a fucking pussy in here.
And I'll tell you what,
But
it's funny. Dudes are the worst.
Yeah, of course.
And it's the
Dudes-
machismo thing.
Dudes
man.
are the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Like the modern dude, fucking even before he became modern, was a piece of shit in the gym because he like dudes don't want to get told anything.
Yeah.
They think they fucking know it all, and they think they
course.
don't need help, and we all need help.
Exactly.
Like coaches need coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for you to walk in and think you're just gonna do it by yourself,
Right.
it's like good luck. And your
Yeah.
ego is gonna probably be the reason that you injure yourself.
Yeah.
And I've coached
Or that
a
you
lot
don't
of people,
stick with it,
or
you
that
know?
you don't stick with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I've coached a lot of people, and most of my clients have been women. Like when I worked in the Upper East Side, and now I work in a different situation,
Because
it's a
you're a
different
sexy
setting.
beefcake. Look
But-
at this, man.
but
What
I had-
woman
I want to
wouldn't
work out with Corey.
But I find that whenever I trained the women, they stuck with it.
Yeah.
They were way more humble and willing to listen and
Of
learn.
course.
And way easier to work with, and got stronger and got results and like became badass. Yo, one of my favorite things in the world, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on a public thing, is watching the women kick these dudes' asses. I love seeing it because these guys are such dickheads.
Of
And they
course.
think they fucking know everything, and I just love seeing it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
good. It's so fun.
It should be fucking humbling. Like,
Yeah.
and that's another big thing for me is that I'm gonna get back to it. Me and my girl are like getting a membership, and we're gonna get back into it and go to the gym. But I just hated going to the gym so much because I hated walking in there, and I'm just like I'm a lanky fucking dude. I've always been a tall, lanky fucking dude with a bird chest. I got no pecs. Pecs are the hardest thing that I can fucking get. I'm blessed with a great metabolism, so I just eat junk and like don't really gain any weight. But like that's obviously not a good thing. But I just hated walking into the gym because I would just go in and there's just like all this like big macho testosterone and like guys are like lifting and they're dropping and they're like, "Ugh," and I'm just like, man, like I always just felt like this isn't where I want to be to work out. This isn't what I want to whatever because there's so much of that like ego. So it's nice to hear that like, you know, that humbleness gets like checked because there is a lot of that.
The
in
humbleness
gym,
gets
you know?
checked. And when you see somebody, like I'll see some of these dudes, like I saw a guy yesterday. I was at the gym working out. Because sometimes I'll just go and train on my own.
Yeah.
Just to work on things that like I want to work on. Like I got this new thing that I'm on where I'm like, I know what I'm really good at.
Yeah.
So I just go to the gym and do shit that I suck at.
Right.
And like I'm a scrub right now. Like I get myself down to zero and I humble myself enough to be like, all right, fuck it. I'm just not good at this and I'm gonna go and look potentially foolish.
Sure.
I don't really think about who's watching me at the gym. Like
Right.
when I'm at the gym, like I have a focus. But I was at the gym, I saw some guy just dropping these fucking barbell on the floor every
God.
time he deadlifted it.
Right.
And I was just like, and his form was shit. And I wasn't going to go, and he had all this weight on the bar that he didn't need to have on it. And it was just a prime example of, you know, he probably watched a video or something.
Yeah.
And said, this is how this looks. You know, if you watch like in CrossFit, you'll see the guys deadlift and then drop it. They're in the middle of the games. They're in the middle of competition. They drop it. That's part of the rules, right? I just did a powerlifting meet a couple months ago. It's like these different things. They have different rules, right? Like if I deadlifted in my competition and I just dropped the fucking barbell on the floor, I would get a no lift.
Right.
Right. But
okay,
in like that particular, like in CrossFit, you can do that. This guy at the gym was acting like he was in the CrossFit games,
Right.
dropping his fucking barbell, and you're just at like a regular gym.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like he's making noise, you know, making
you look like an asshole, right?
Well, what is the purple Planet Fitness?
Sure,
Planet
the
Fitness,
purple
the
one.
What's the purple one? Damn it!
It's the purple
The
one,
purple-
and I
The-
can't
with the
stand the
fist?
purple and yellow.
Purple
Is it a
and yellow.
fist?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
something like that.
It's just like,
Something like yeah.
you know.
I thought that was
But
crunch.
they have a lunk alert is what they call it, and whenever someone like groan or and they're so funny. They call it a judgment-free zone, first of all, but then they also have this alarm that goes off when people were like grunting or like dropping weights that they would literally hit if
I've
some
never
guy was,
seen it actually go
I
off.
have. Back in the day, I did.
The thing is-
But which is, it's so, it's stupid because it says it's a judgment-free zone, but then they're judging people for being like loud lifting. Regardless,
Yeah.
but that is also fun because there are all those big dingleberries that do that kind of shit.
Sure.
I walked out of a Planet Fitness one time, also to shit on Planet Fitness more. I walked out of a Planet Fitness one time, and as I was on the way out, there was a giant box, like 4 or 5 giant boxes of like pizza.
Oh yeah, they do the pizza. Like
I was like, "What's this?" He was like, "It's Pizza Tuesdays. Would you like a slice?" I was like, "After my workout?"
No.
Okay. I mean, I still ate it.
Okay,
But I was like, "Is this what we're?
Did the switch up
Is this
on
what
us.
we're doing?"
Well,
now?
this is the
Like-
thing, right? It's like that's a tactic, obviously, to for like client retention or something.
Sure.
But like,
That's stupid.
and this is the thing: you can go to any gym if you know what you're doing. and get a good workout in. Like me personally, I don't like all the purple and yellow. Like it's just too much.
The navy blues and the blood reds.
He's got to get the blood red.
The lunch alarm and the fucking all that shit and the pizza. Like that's cool. Just the purple and yellow, I can't.
I don't like the purple and yellow either. Man.
know,
that's our school
loud.
colors.
Purple and gold. It's different.
But that's the thing, right? Like so. It should be a place to feel welcome, but the thing is, and I used to have this attitude of those guys. Like, I don't need help. I could do this shit myself.
Sure.
I coach people, and I get coached by people all the time, and it's only helped me.
Sure.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So you got to just be humble enough to just shut the fuck up and realize that you just don't know everything.
Yeah.
Right? So back in the day, like I was going into gyms and like creating my own programs or like opening Muscle and Fitness. And I did a lot of self-educating but also became certified and did all that. But like when you're walking in the gym and then it's just those days where you just like motivation is not always there, right? People talk about that. But like this is just also just what I do. So I'm gonna do it. Like I just have that kind of drive to do it. Is I'm gonna do it even if I feel like trash when I'm walking into the gym.
That's the hardest thing, man.
That was my biggest thing in the first month or so, that like it didn't matter what the fuck I did when I got there. Just get there.
Get there.
That's
Just
the
get
first
there.
thing. First step is get there.
You gotta get there,
and then figure out what the hell you're gonna do. Which that's the beginning. Obviously, you want to like build on that, and I'm trying to build on that now. But like, even if I got there, I felt like crap for whatever reason, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do 20 minutes on the elliptical. I'm here. Let's do something. That was enough, and that helped the routine, build the routine.
That'll also, I feel like, breed more motivation. Because if you get there and you're like, all I feel like doing right now is just doing 20 minutes on the elliptical. You do 20 minutes on the elliptical, and now you're like, okay, well, we're moving. Maybe I'll go and lift some weights or something. Like it'll bleed into that.
sure.
Yeah, and I think a thing that helps, and I think it's something that should be utilized, is like get a buddy. Just have someone come with you. I used to have a friend that I would like wake this motherfucker up at 6 a.m. and be like, yo, we're going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone. And there was plenty of days where I was in there by myself, but like for the most part, I would get this guy to come with me to the gym all the time.
Yeah.
And if you have like a friend, like, and having a community in general is important. Like the gym I work for, we have a community and we like train 4 people at a time.
Sure.
And people start to know each other and become friends outside the gym, but they have like, they support each other, and it is a judgment-free zone for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody. So because when you're kind of just like wandering around the gym and you're by yourself and you maybe not feeling it that day, if you're not feeling it that day, but your buddy is like,
let's go.
yo,
Pumps
let's
you up.
fuck
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Let's do it. Like that shit is helpful. Like, and we just trying to do shit by yourself is tough. We're tribal. We need like community.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean? Doing shit by yourself is not. I used to think I could do everything by myself, and to eventually just be like, yo, I cannot. I can't do this shit. Like the fucking theme song from Scrubs.
I can't do it.
You know Scrubs.
One of the best shows of all time.
Well,
I'm no Superman.
we're no Superman. We're no Supermen.
You know?
Which is funny because no more.
That's how it ends.
That is how it ends.
Which I'm gonna now pivot it. Well, not fully pivot it, but it's funny that you were like, I don't know how to do anything myself, which is hilarious because you have a podcast with just yourself.
That's also true.
But I guess before we get into that, because I definitely want to talk about your pod for a little bit. We like to have a segment where we talk about what's a dude to do. Like so with all that being said kind of thing, for people, like for example, for me, which I'm sure there's hundreds and thousands of other people that are like this, to try to get back into working out or like trying to find, because I'm a big like schedule based person. I'm really into opening up a calendar and going, these are the days that I'm doing this thing. This is the schedule that I'm doing. Like, how would you say is like, what's a good way for somebody like me, for example, to like get back into doing it? Like a good like initial start.
You just said it right there. You are a calendar schedule person.
Yeah.
Put it on your calendar and make it non-negotiable.
Sure.
That's it. Like
You like to cross shit off, and if you
Ooh,
can't cross
it
it off, then the day is incomplete.
If you're looking at your calendar, like I could do this, just put it in.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you got to show up. You got to do it.
And what are we talking like? I used to try to make 3 days a week work.
Go for 3 days a week.
Start with 3 days.
Start with 3 days a week. Start with 3 days a week, and then build on that. Get back to the basics, like, you know.
Yeah.
I found setting. This has always worked for me for lots of different things in my life, but finding a thing that motivates me, like a goal. Like for me, it's easier because I'm getting married this year, and so I've got that goal to be, you know, a certain weight and like just be better shape, better fitness. So that helped a ton. Setting a goal. Some people don't like goals because they think they're, you know, they make
pressure.
if they don't hit them, then they're, you know, then they failed.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't have to be like, for me, like I don't have a specific goal. Like it's not like I need to be under 210 pounds. It's I want to feel good. I want to look good at my wedding, you know, and so it's vague enough that it's not like you have to do this or else you're going to feel like a failure.
Yeah, you have a date too, which is also helpful. Like
That-
if you had something that you were like
Coming up on,
coming up
So
on.
that motivates me. Some people don't like that kind of. I was reading something on that recently. I was listening to a podcast about it. But that works really well for me. So we're going on a cruise in a month for my bachelor party, and I'm like, all right, I want to look really good by that. So like, what do we start changing to like look a little bit better for that? And then the next step is, all right, then I'm getting married. So like, what do we need to change before that? But then also it's a lifestyle thing. So I want to implement these things and keep them too.
Yeah. So that it's not even about the goal really
no.
anymore. It's just about
They
it's
say
a routine.
this is just how you
they
do
say
life.
it takes like a month and a half, 2 months to make a good habit.
Sure.
And so I am like 3 months-ish into like starting this workout routine.
You look great.
Thanks,
That's what I'm saying.
man.
I
You
mean,
look- then-
glowing.
I haven't seen you in a fucking long
Yeah.
time, and you look really good. And I feel like we've
'cause
talked about
I've-
you going to the gym and shit before.
Yeah,
too.
we
Like,
did. We used to talk about when we're yeah, man. I'm finally
Yeah,
gonna do
yeah.
it. Just after tonight, man, I'm gonna get up and I'm going to gym.
Well, it's funny because that's all. That's like when. That's like all people want to talk to me about sometimes, and it's just
You mean like how we just did, inviting you to the podcast?
But
today?
you know what though? Like it's cool in this setting, but like people that just are making small talk with me, first
Yeah.
thing they'll talk about.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
like,
well,
that's
look
cool.
at what you're fucking wearing. What else are they gonna
I
talk
did
to?
show up like this. You know,
Did show up like
I
this.
feel like you're victim blaming.
No, but you look clean. You look. I mean, honest to God, I put on like some more athletic things.
You got
'cause
some
were
J's
talking.
on.
I had a whole different outfit planned, and they shamed me into putting on a more athletic look that I brought
It works
today.
though. It looks like
You look good.
You look like you could be in the.
Like you're about to play like baseball and go to Brooklyn at the same time.
There was a
No,
Bad
Brooklyn.
Boys for
We're not
Life.
going to Brooklyn.
Bad Boys for Life music video. P Diddy,
Hell yeah.
G Depp. I don't know if G Depp was on that song, but
G Depp. That's a deep cut. That's a deep one.
look at the video. I think they're all dressed like baseball players.
Okay.
Oh,
you
I
could be
think
in
I
the
know what you're
Warriors.
talking about.
You know what I'm
it's
talking
Bad Boy.
about?
It's
Bad
the video of
Boy
Bad
for Life. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's a good one.
P Diddy, how's Puff doing? Anybody checked in on Puff?
I think he's doing all right.
He's
Probably.
good. He's
Yeah, he's
religious.
Wiping
He found God.
He found
Did
God.
he
That's
find
good.
God?
Nah.
Probably not. Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
I was actually walking down the street one day.
Doesn't sound
I remember
right.
like just being at a point. I was walking down the street like a couple months ago, and I looked at this church across the street, and I was like, "Am I gonna find God?" Like, you just
Don't do it.
get
I don't know
to
why
a
I'm
point,
laughing.
I was like, "Am I gonna find God?" And then I walked past that church and
Forgot about it till just
forgot
now.
about it after that until right now.
Until
Yeah.
right now in this moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, there is some people that find their religion in fitness.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of seems like what you've done.
Well, I got this theory. Like everybody's trying to find something to carry on. Like life is hard.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Oh, yeah. That's
You
why
know
people
what I mean?
go to religion is
People
because
go to
it's-
religion. Life is hard. I think
Yeah.
people go to religion because they are so fucking afraid of death that they
too.
need something to like. They need to be like, well, after I die, this is gonna happen, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's okay
Like, you know what I mean?
when I die because I will have my life afterwards because God will let me into the pearly gates.
Which is why I would say, why don't you focus more on the now and try to be the best version of yourself
How
in this
hard?
moment with fitness, with being a good person, which is kind of the whole fucking point of this
It's
podcast.
so hard
you know?
though.
yeah, it is.
But if you implement, I mean, literally this podcast, doing this shit, talking to you inspires me every time I do it. Talking to you every time I talk to you inspires me. No, but like
Doing this
You heard it here
podcast
first.
every single
but
time.
it makes me accountable to be a better person.
Well, when you think about it, like, the cliche saying of like the people you surround yourself with. Like,
Yeah.
show me your friends and I'll show you who you are, and that kind of thing.
Oof,
I actually
that's real.
really feel like I found a community of people that are all trying to be better, but also like genuinely want to help other people.
Yeah.
And I just fucking I love that. You
Yeah,
know what I
of
mean?
course.
And I used to feel like, yo, am I fucking cornball because I like want to help people, or I got like some hero complex because I think I could help this many fucking people.
Yeah, but that's just like
You know what I
that's just
mean? But
like you
it's
being
like-
conditioned to think that you're supposed to be that way
Right.
because everybody's like,
It's like I can't cry because because I'm in the middle of this movie and I'm sitting next to these two
fuck
dudes.
that, dude.
You know?
Fuck
Sob
that.
on this shoulder, baby. It's
Oh,
ready.
yeah.
Bro, I'm
yeah.
crying. I got two dudes on both sides. I'm grabbing the knees, bro. I'm like,
A good cry feels really good. Feels like hitting
yeah.
hitting a PR.
My, Coach Jimmy Valvano he was a coach back in the day for the
You got this.
NC State.
You got this. I
NC
love this.
State
That's
basketball
a gym
team.
buddy. You need to take him to the gym
NC
with you.
State basketball team. He got cancer, and he did this speech right before he died at the ESPYs that he said that if you have laughed, you've had a good conversation, and if you've cried, then you've had a full day. And it's like, I quote it all the time because it is so impactful. And he fucking died 2 weeks later. And like, it is an iconic speech in the sports world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
so
I cry pretty much every day. So
that's good, man. That means you've had a wide range.
1/3 of a full day.
I thought you were going to say
But
1:30 every day at 1:30.
something about that 129 going, and I'm like, just gone,
Just get it
man.
out. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I was
me
having. I've referenced it a couple times. I was having some health issues, and they like built up, and I was just like I was not doing well mentally, and I finally just like let it out, and like that was one of the first.
It's cathartic.
It was one of the first steps to like starting to get over that bullshit, you know.
Totally.
And so much of like the body stuff was also mental. Like I made it worse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're hard on ourselves, and it's really easy to be hard on yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like it's really easy to compliment someone and shit all over yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I asked you what's your favorite thing about yourself, you'd be like, you'd have to think about it. But if I asked you what was your favorite thing about Grayson, you'd probably say like 12 things.
That's not
You
true.
know?
How dare you?
Say 12 things about me that you like right
Say
now.
12 things.
You know what I'm? All right, get them up, boys.
Well, we would
I only got 10
have them.
fingers.
We would have them
Six
closed
each.
first.
6 each. Okay.
Six
okay.
each.
I was just gonna drop them, but we're fine. Never mind. I can't do it because you're.
Oh,
an
come
asshole.
on.
All right, we'll go. We'll start. Honest. First, this is a new one. The beard looks very good.
The
these
beard
days.
looks
Thank
good,
you.
man.
Okay.
You're giving me beard hope.
Okay.
I'm getting beard hope over
Yeah.
here.
Thank you. That means a lot. Put a lot of time and a lot of work. You know what? You don't have to say anymore.
No,
the
no.
beard
No,
did
we're gonna do-
everything
we're gonna do
for
six.
me.
I've known
We're
you
gonna
for
do
years,
12.
and I didn't think you could grow
Fashion.
facial hair.
I didn't
Your
think I could do it
fashion.
either.
Your fashion.
Fashion's
Thank
great.
you.
It's got two
Thank you.
things.
Had a different look planned.
Your music.
Music is great. Taste in music as well.
Taste and yeah, both of them.
That's
So
sweet.
you can do a few things with music. The fact that you play music, jealous of that, amazing. The fact that you can sing really well. The fact that
Great
you're
voice.
you're pursuing career, a career. You're actually motivated to do it. Let's see, any more of the music?
Ooh, I hate this.
See, because we
hate
put the
this.
attention on you.
Right.
you
Well, the
know?
attention's on you, but,
But
then
then
there's something
on the
to be
flip
said.
side for myself, I could say I could start a list because I haven't in a better mental state recently.
You've
I've
been doing the
actively-
work.
Been actively trying to, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
for
happy. I'm more happy with my body that I've been in a long time. I'm fortunate to have. I'm just so happy that I can fucking move around.
Well,
You
you
know?
make effort, right?
Yeah,
Effort means
I'm-
fucking everything, and it costs you nothing.
I feel so blessed just to like be breathing and be able to walk and
Damn,
like
this
and,
guy's
like,
good.
He's real good.
I mean,
Also, talk about a beard.
I am a decent looking guy. You know, there's some people that are fucking born and they have you know their face is caved in or they're blind. Like there's things that we take for granted
Yeah.
every day, and that sounds fucking shitty to even say out loud. But like it's true.
No,
you
speak
know?
your truth.
Like I have very pretty eyes. I get complimented.
He
on
really
my
does.
eyes.
The baby blues was the
I
next
get
thing I was going to
complimented
say.
on my
yeah.
eyes all the time, and I don't take that. I appreciate that, and I always say thank you because like some people feel like they don't have pretty eyes, you know, and
Yeah.
they're insecure about their eyes because they're brown or because whatever. And it's like no, like just like flip. All it is essentially flipping a negative into a positive.
Well-
That's what I've been really focusing on recently. I talked to Mary Grace the other day. I called her and I was like, I've been in such a little bit of a spiral recently, and I'm coming out of it. And so I just wanted to thank you and appreciate you as my partner for how amazing and wonderful you are. And because I feel like I haven't doted on you enough recently. And so like, there's things like that when your mental is good. And so much of that comes from, I've been working out too, you know, the physical helps the mental. They're linked so much, you know.
But how about that beard?
Well, that's really good, and you know how to check yourself, and you're in a good place.
But I haven't always, and like because like in the lifestyle that we led back when we were drinking at till 4 a.m. and not that we don't have times like that too.
Sure,
still have nights like that.
But like that, I was in a shitty spot when I was in that too because we were just in a pattern of self-destructive behavior.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not in that anymore, and I'm working on myself. I'm working on this podcast. I'm exploring ideas of other ways to create.
You have a purpose.
And I have not had that in a long time, but through this pandemic, to talk about silver linings, through this pandemic, it's really opened me up to like wanting to. I expect more from myself, essentially.
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm inspired by that.
Well, but I'm inspired by you because you've done the same thing. You cut out drinking altogether. You've worked on your career.
You saw how I used to drink.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, me too.
Get the pictures of Brooklyn Lager when
Ooh,
you walk in, man.
Pictures,
bro.
You just drink it straight out.
My boy,
it got hot and shit. Too.
It was.
I was still drinking.
It was like a bit at a certain point. He would just come in and I just start pouring the pitcher, and he would just drink out of it.
I'm always curious, but I feel like we're friends enough, and not that I don't know if it's like you would feel like you were an alcoholic or not. Would you ever go back to it, or are you done?
I just I don't.
Or you just don't crave it?
I
don't
want
it?
Think about it anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
Like there was a while where I thought, oh fuck, like I'm not gonna be Corey, right? But I just am myself, right? Like,
well, you're evolving.
You know what I mean?
You know, it's not.
And I got like plenty of examples. Like my dad's, a fucking heavy drinker. My grandfather died a couple years ago, and he was really bad. And I'm just like, you know what? With all this shit in my family, like, I don't need it.
Really worth it.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool. I'll show up to a party. I'm cool. Like, I'll chill. I'll talk about anything. Like, I'll literally talk about anything with anybody, anywhere. Like, I don't need it.
But that's the thing too. Is like what's really great about I think you in general, and why you're like a really great, I think, inspiration for that is because you just are a cool dude anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, come
so
on.
like a lot of people, they lean on the alcohol and stuff like that or the drugs because they think it makes them cooler, or it makes them more of like an interesting person or presentable or whatever, where you're just like, you can just sit down and talk about fucking whatever, whether or not you were drunk.
Well, like going to what Mason said, because it really resonated with me. I was always really shy as a kid.
Sure.
And I always like would see these outgoing personalities of these other dudes and like see the dudes that like all the girls liked and everything. And I was just like, yo, I'll never be that guy. I just don't have it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that kind of, like I'm not comfortable enough to just be honest about just how fucking, you know what? I like Spider-Man. You know, I fucking... Boy Meets World is a great show. Like I just like I don't have a lot to talk about. World. I think like I'm very particular about like I like when I make a peanut butter and jelly, like I do the peanut butter first and I use a spoon. But it's like I like
now
mundane.
That's weird.
I like. Do you make sure it's all the way to the edge?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, my jam and my peanut butter's got to be the edge.
I glob that shit too.
I glob that shit.
People who don't make sandwiches and don't like fill the sandwich to the edge with everything piss me off.
Oh yeah. What's that weird piece of bread that you're not getting the bite of the sandwich with?
Yeah, there's like a border.
Yeah.
There's like a moat.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, it's weird. Bullshit. But no, I just never really. I always kind of felt like I didn't have. Like I wasn't really interesting, so I would kind of like fall back into the shadows and shit. And it takes me a minute to get comfortable around people. Even still now, like I still feel it coming up. Yeah. Sometimes if I haven't seen someone in a long time, I'm like, you know what I mean?
I
like,
want them to think I'm good. I
hope they know I'm okay. But also like, I don't feel like I need to show so much like I did when I was younger. Sure. Like I just kind of will wait until it's my turn to talk.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? But I
too.
got to a point where I would just get fucking hammered and just do the things that everybody expected me to do.
Right.
because I'm like, yeah, this is
Oh,
me. You know what I mean?
That was a big thing for me, that like I was the life of the party kind of guy too, and like if I wasn't being loud and goofy and you know out there, then I wasn't fulfilling my role in the group kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like
Mason's
it's quiet.
here,
Say something
so
ridiculous.
we should be whatever.
We should be turned up because we always rage.
And you have worked on that a lot, man.
Yeah.
Like I know that. Like we've had like parties recently where you kind of roll and you just like do your own thing and chill.
I had to work on that for sure.
I've seen you be the life of the party and be like, and I always enjoy. You know what I mean? Like it's always fun in the moment. We always like, you know.
And I still do that, but I also don't have to do that and be rip hammered. You know?
Well, you're still you.
Exactly.
That's why.
Yeah.
And I think it's like this false.
I'm loud and obnoxious without alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
That was like
I'm still an asshole.
That was the point I was trying to make about you. Is like that wasn't Corey.
Yeah.
You're Corey.
This is the real
alcohol.
version.
Yeah.
Eventually, with the thing is, if I was drinking like that, I would just eventually kind of just peter out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Now I just do this thing like if I'm somewhere and I'm like, yeah, I'm tired now. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll see you guys
See
next
ya.
time.
See ya.
Yeah.
You know, but and some people love to see you do that, and some people like take it as a personal attack, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I can't do anything about
But
that.
that's
either.
their insecurity.
You know what I mean?
That's their
That's their
shit.
energy. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
their
You
shit.
gotta
That's
do what's
not you,
good for
man.
you. I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to talk, you know,
Real
real
quick
quick.
about
Let's plug the podcast.
Yeah.
Called Corey Has a Podcast, starring Corey Easley and only Corey Easley. It's been like 2 years, 3 years.
100 and
I have 111 episodes.
Wow.
111, 119.
111.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I started it during the pandemic. I was coming off of doing an old podcast, which you guys had been a guest on.
Yeah.
I was on the. Me and our buddy Ryan used to do the Truth Serum,
True soon.
and we
Blah, blah,
put,
blah, blah, blah.
we put
Shout
that
out
to bed.
to Ryan. Blah 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 blah.
It's funny because that was like actually at a time where like I remember, and I said this I think I don't know who I was talking to, but I was doing the Truth Serum, and one day Ryan spoke to me after the show, and I think I was just in a bad mood and I was being a prick, and it was during the pandemic, and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, and I was probably like 12 beers deep, and I was like, and I said the word cunt like 72 times. And I was just like
In a row?
like not in a row, but like I was just talking so much shit in the middle of the afternoon. I was in a bad mood and I was just being a prick. And you know when you know you're being an asshole,
Yeah.
right? Like you're trying to get a rise out of who, right? Like who is
Yeah.
it? Who's this for?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
little moment of clarity there.
And that was like
afterwards.
towards the end of the Truth Serum.
Yeah.
Not because of that moment, but it was just one of those. This started around kind of just celebrating bad behavior.
Yeah.
Right.
And it went on for over 200
Did you guys
episodes.
always drink?
We used to get wrecked.
Yeah.
We used to
Well,
to
you guys did the shot
I-
roulette thing.
Yeah, we
I
used to-
remember when I literally remember where I was standing. I was at the front of the bar at Pioneers when I heard that you guys drank. You're like, yeah, we drink every time. We just like go get wasted. Or Grayson was telling me, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, I drink a lot, but that sounds really unhealthy.
Sounds
Yeah,
exhausting, you know?
Well, what
Like,
we would do is like I would show up on a Sunday. Ryan would sit in the front of the bar, finishing up working and drinking, and I would sit towards the back of the bar, just getting out of work, like ready to party.
Right.
So I'm just like, I gotta have a few drinks to start getting fucked up for the show. And
Right.
then there was a couple times where we just got too fucked up. There was a couple times where I had like fallen asleep
Yeah.
while we were doing the show.
Yeah.
No way.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's hilarious.
and it's
but
like
also
it's
Yeah.
funny, but it's also like
real unhealthy.
there was just there was no
There's no longevity in that.
accountability. There was
Yeah.
no
Oh, you can't-
longevity. There was no,
Yeah.
you know, I started getting frustrated about like us not sharing the show equally. Like we weren't like promoting it, and I was just like, I love Ryan so much. That's my boy, no
Yeah.
matter what. And I'm like, I don't need this podcast also to ruin my friendship.
Sure.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
of course.
and we just weren't, you know, we just had like, it was just time to put that shit to bed.
So-
and it was like closing a chapter.
So
Yeah.
moving on, we're gonna get to your podcast eventually.
So yeah, we're gonna get there. So Corey has a podcast.
You, it's really, we talked, I think recently, or I can't remember the last time, but you said that you just go. You just start and we were texting
Yes.
like a month ago.
Oh yeah.
And you were like,
that's right.
I just like start and I go.
It's like a stream of consciousness,
Yeah.
kind of.
I think I'm
flow.
gonna talk about something, or I'll like joke around like I'm gonna talk about this on my podcast. Like 2 days ago, my mom said to me, I want to go to Golden Corral for my birthday. And I said, absolutely fucking not.
No. No.
And I'm like, I'm going to talk about this on my podcast. And I might. You know what I mean? Or I might hit record and go, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Corey Has a Podcast. And then I'll talk about something totally different.
Yeah. Do you have like any like just a random piece of paper in front of you that has like random topics?
I've tried that.
Yeah.
The problem with that is,
does it feel unauthentic
to you? It feels like I'm reading. I'm a horrible actor. And if I have a script, it sounds like I have a script.
Sure.
So I have to just go off the top of the dome.
So you have one topic, and then you just go from there.
Or not.
Yeah.
Which is the trickiest thing, because sometimes I feel like I'm walking into a workout that I'm too tired for.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I hit record, and I'm like, fuck. I mean, like, because I got this thing where I go, I said I'm going to release an episode every Monday, so an episode's coming out, whether it's good or not.
No, there is something to that. I respect the fuck out of that. And,
the consistency
Grayson and I have gone back and forth on that, because I am of that mindset, and Grayson's kind of like, I'd rather put out a good product and not like force something.
Well, it's more of like the momentum in which like we gain by putting something out every single time consistently is a real thing. Yeah. But there also is like, there's things like life that come up. There's things that like maybe we need to like take a couple weeks off to like reset a few things that we can't like really do if we're continuing to be consistent.
You know, so long for us to get this iteration up because we were like, we need to do this right, and then I'm glad we did, because it's much more well thought out, and it's like it's a succinct product, whereas like sometimes the weekly checklist wasn't like forced or put together poorly, but we have much more of a through line with this, I think.
Yeah, and there's just a lot more like we were just like going way off, and just like kind of like blah 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 without any sort of.
This is much more of like I said, there's a concise idea here. There's a thesis behind what we're doing, so that helps us.
Everything comes back to what it is, right? Because any opinion or idea you could have can pertain to the modern dude.
Which
you know
is
what
great.
I mean?
Which is, but the fact that we can always bring it back to that is super helpful, especially with training. Like everything we've talked about today, you can relate back. Like we talked about the guys in the gym. Like that's such an unhealthy mindset, you know? So I guess we can probably wrap it up here.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I think. Do you want to plug? Do you have like a thing you say with the podcast? You want to plug it?
Everybody, check out Corey Has a Podcast. It is available anywhere you can find a podcast. That means Pandora even, I think, has it. So Stitcher, Audible, SoundCloud, all those places. Apple, iTunes, Spotify. You can find it anywhere. Corey Has a Podcast. It's not spelled weird. There's no underscores or any of that shit. So I'm pretty easy to find. Corey. Anybody who spells Corey without an E is spelling their name wrong.
Oh, wow. And you heard it here first, baby.
So half the Coreys.
Well, I guess to wrap it up, I love the podcast too. I'm way behind on it, but I love what you do on that. I love your stream of just like flow that you have about like random things and talking. It's always funny. It's always a great it's actually reflection. Yeah. It's actually,
I popped it on at the gym the other day, and because I knew that about the podcast and that you just like go, and I was like, how does he do this every time?
I don't know how you do it.
It's weird. It's weird. I will say that. Sorry.
And I was like. Let me just see what he's doing right now. And I ended up listening to the whole thing, and I was like, oh, fuck, that's great.
Yeah, it's because it's short. It's 20 minutes, so it's easy. But I will say, like, there are times, and I try not to think about this.
Yeah.
But there are times where, like, I'll say something that I can't take back because I don't edit anything out or anything. I'll say some shit that I can't take back, and I'm like, you know, like I've seen myself lose followers and been like, maybe that came out wrong or something like that.
But there's something,
like,
there's something to be said about that. Yeah, there's something to be said about the commitment.
Maybe we try editing.
You know?
No, but you know what though? Like
you said, no, fuck you.
I feel like that's part of my brand. Like it's just
exactly.
Like,
that's what I like about it. It's like you sitting there with a mic, going through the stream of content, and like that's coming out of your head, and you're like, if some of it's kind of weird, or if some of it's maybe like strange or whatever, but like that's what Corey Has a Podcast is.
Yeah, like I'll say something that like before you said it in public, you would like look around to see if anybody could hear you say it. I'll just say it.
Voice,
you know?
Right. So yeah, so definitely check that out. It's definitely a very, very fun listen. And really, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely,
I
man.
love this show.
is
I watch
great.
the show religiously.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I appreciate being able to sit here with you guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you, sir.
Yeah, you're the first person we thought of when we wanted to do a fitness episode like
Yeah.
this, and also a good reason to catch
Because
up.
I was
so.
like, what if we do a fitness? I was like, we should have somebody on because we're two jamokes that we're not entirely in the best shape yet.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna get there.
We need somebody to come in here and
Yeah.
actually like talk to us about it,
Yes.
not us
And
be
I
like,
was
"Ugh, I
was
don't
like,
know."
we got to have Corey. He's got the podcast and he's a fitness instructor. It's like a win-win. Yeah.
And he's a
appreciate
giant,
it.
sexy, muscular man.
Oh man,
So
look at that hair. Look at those curls.
I can't get it. Yeah, we didn't compliment Corey.
I
Oh,
know.
man.
Look at the sleeves too, man. They're coming through, man.
Coming through.
through,
It's
man.
hot.
Look at the kicks, man.
Yeah, I know they're too clean. He like bought them today for this.
I
Like,
had to wear
Did you buy those
kicks because
today?
I know you guys are always fashionable. And I was thinking, like, do you guys
look at
feel
these
pressure?
dirty Nikes, bro. Like, get out of here. Yeah, you look amazing.
But do you guys feel pressure to look fly every time you do an episode?
Not
Kinda.
gonna lie. We do.
Kinda, yeah.
Like how much new clothes have you bought since you started this
I bought
show?
$200 worth of clothes today. Got none. Used it all in here.
I've bought a few things. I did buy a shirt. I went into Macy's, and to be fair, I was a little drunk, just a little buzzed, and I
Best
found
time
this
to shop.
shirt that was so ridiculous, but it's really nice. And I didn't look at the price tag, and I walked up to the counter, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this. It had like embroidered like tigers and panthers on the back of it, like very
Oh, I know the one.
yeah.
He wore it for like 3 days in a row straight afterwards.
Because I wanted, it was a red shirt because I wanted to match my red Jordans that I have, and I was like, we got to find a red shirt, and I found it was ridiculous. I was like, let's do it, and I got to the counter, and she was like, all right, this will be $50, and like in the back of my mind I was like, yo, that's $50 for a T-shirt,
not the Macklemore
Yeah.
quote.
but like literally I was like, well, this feels shitty, but
I'm that guy.
here it is.
But shit will just be on sale at Macy's, so you were rolling the dice.
This
yeah,
was not.
I
in
like
the
that you
sale
didn't
there.
look at the tag. I like
No.
can't do that.
No.
I'm like doing
it was like next. I
wild
should have
math
known.
in
It was
the
like
Yeah,
next
yeah.
to like Scotch and soda, which is like wild.
Oh, Scotch and soda, yeah.
Love Scotch.
Yeah.
And
No,
soda.
you buy the shirt and you're like, fuck it, I just won't eat lunch tomorrow. I'm
Yeah.
fasting.
Dead ass. So yeah, I've
Which
bought
is
a
not
couple
what you
things.
do when it comes to fitness. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
No.
Don't miss lunch. We didn't even talk about diet, but we don't have any
No,
time.
we don't have time. We'll bring you back for another
Part
time.
2.
Part
Yeah,
two.
part
We can do
two.
that. Come on now.
All right.
All right, and transition. Hope you've enjoyed what you've listened to today. If you guys want to check out, if you enjoyed the discussion, that's amazing. Please interact with us. Talk to us about it. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you're on YouTube right now. Press that little button down there.
Left hand corner.
And definitely check us out on all social media platforms. It's The Modern Dude. We're on Instagram. We are on TikTok. Please come and hang out with us on TikTok. TikTok is like our favorite place to be right now. We're getting a lot of engagement there. And yeah, you can also visit our website, which I still don't think we've fixed yet.
Not
Okay,
yet.
you can't
It's
visit that
in-
yet.
We're working on it.
We'll get there. We're gonna get a shop up too with shirts maybe sometime as well. So
We're working on that.
yeah. But thank you again, Corey. Much love, dude.
sure, bro.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun.
And don't forget,
Ooh.
bad boys for life. Bye bye now.
Bye now.